So I think we are complete. So I welcome you in the culture change transformation stream. I'm very pleased to show you a review of a 2-year transformation journey. And I hope we're going to have fruitful discussions afterwards. Very good. So change is an attitude. Very often when I am working as a change manager at Implenia, people tell me, for you it's easy. I mean, you like the change. For you, it's your job. And that's actually true. I mean, I wouldn't have work if there would be no change. So I'm sitting quite in a different position than most of my people. Here is the agenda, but I think we directly go into a timeline and I explain the agenda on this level. So I will start with the background, some information. As Bertrand would say, the roots, the past, and just look where we are coming from. And then we jump directly into important moment 2 years ago when we had a town hall informing about our new strategy. And you see the red dotted line, actually, that's the focus of the journey we did. And I just go step by step through some of the things we did on this way. So right after this communication of the transformation, we set up a change framework and also started a leadership development program. Within there, we had a major focus on communication. I will talk about. And then we launched a campaign, an appreciation campaign to support our employees during this difficult process. We had moving into a new building, having a new home base, a new headquarters in this time. And we also, since then, celebrate on a monthly basis, being together. So this was the business view. And now I just show you a little bit another side. It's my, you see on one side, the yellow line is the exchange rate or the stock rate of the Implenia share. And the black line is actually my personal story. So I open a little bit the box, and that's why I borrowed. It is very well explained what it means thinking outside of the box. So I will also open the box a little bit for myself here, and let's show you that behind, let's say, the nice story of a company, we are all individuals. We come all from different places, and we all have our own story. And I will share with you some very private things that even some close friends don't know about me. And with this step, I just think it's important that we speak frankly, we open ourselves, and we also show that not everything is just nice and good. Right. So this is the story, and I'm already a bit sorry. I'm gonna really rush through in this half an hour to pack everything in there. And I will encourage you that every time you see this box there, think out of the box. You have to switch your mind. That's my private perspective. That's my private view. And that's why I say change is an attitude. We can sometimes, or most often, we cannot influence what happens. We can change how we act, how we react, or how we behave in times of change. Okay, but now let's go and see the background, where we come from. I mean, we were founded in 2005. Implenia is a building and construction company, and we have, in 2005, 2 of the major players in Switzerland merged. So we became number 1 in Switzerland. But we have a 150-year construction history. And then in 2010, we started acquiring companies in Norway and later on in Germany. And we also started activities in Austria, Romania, and Sweden. And I mean, in this process, we had also, coming from a Swiss company, going into an international, it was also, let's say, kind of a culture change. I have to mention here that construction, where we are, our business, is a really high volume. I mean, it's a lot of money, but it's a low margin and we have high risks because, like, if we build a tunnel into the mountain, we never know what's exactly happening there. Geology is so difficult to estimate. So let's say the combination of small margin, high risk, that's like the toxic combination, and you have to be very careful when you acquire new projects. And we were, let's say, in this process of going global, we just had some difficulties to align the processes, how we acquire new projects, and we did some mistakes. And in 2020, we have to fundamentally correct and realign. And let's say here, just a little view how it is today. We are 4 divisions: real estate, buildings, civil engineering, and specialties. And as you can see, I mean, the order book of like 7,148 millions, that's large, that's big money. But as I said, the risk is high and the margin is low, so we are not allowed to do any mistakes. What you see, we are 7,653 employees approximately, and our core values you see on the bottom line: sustainability, integrity, collaboration, agility, and excellence. And we will all work with an integrated model. Very good. So now, box time. As you see, a nice happy family there. And I would say it's always easy to take a nice picture on holiday, but the situation of my family is rather what you see on the left side. So, a marriage on the rocks. Even if we have nice holidays together, when we took this picture, I was already 2 years separated from my wife. And I was living in the basement of our house, and we just, for outsiders, everything was perfect, you know. Nice family, everything nice. But in reality, that's not the case. We are just in the middle of the divorce, even today, but also in this moment. And I just could cope with this and arrange myself after 20 years of marriage. I mean, yeah, you get used to it, that things not always are so funny. But let's put that aside for a second. Go back to business. Transformation begins within. So you start really with yourself. And that's what we did at Implenia. So what we did at this town hall I mentioned, it was announced only 2 weeks after I joined Implenia, and I realized the magnitude of the change. So we had layoffs, we had restructuring, reduction on closures in several countries. And you can see, I mean, I don't have to mention all the details, but it was really a major change, and I mean, having impact on all employees, but for some it was a really, really severe change. So with this announcement, not only our share price dropped dramatically, but also the newspapers were, you know, just coming up with bad news, and free fall, and yeah, where is Implenia going, and so on. So a really difficult situation also for the employees. And how can we encourage employees in such a situation? You see here again one of the town hall slides where we announced, okay, we have to close down several locations. And so it was really dramatic. Now, back to private life. Okay, as I mentioned, I was okay living in a, let's say, more or less stable base. Just finding my way, arranging my things. But there you see a drop, and I would just take you to the place when that happened. And I think very often also in company lives, it's that you can manage to do things on a certain level until something happens that has apparently nothing really to do with this. But then it sparks off. And what happened there? I participate in ultra cycling events once a year. And I had my first, did not finish, so I had to scratch. And apparently, I mean, I was actually quite okay with this decision because it was a real hard race. It was across France, 2,300 kilometers. And it was last year, it was very muddy. It was 80% off-road, so it was a real fight. So after, I think it was 4.5 days, I just couldn't stand. I didn't see the goal anymore. I just didn't see that I could make it to the final destination at the border of Spain. So I scratched. And this is my Facebook message where I wrote, I'm okay with this. You know, I'm fine. I'm okay just for my followers. I'm okay with this decision, but I was not. This shows the picture when I was in Dijon after about a day after scratching the race. I was really depressed, and we heard about this Kübler-Ross curve. I was just straight going down this curve in the, as we say, the valley of despair. And I mean, I'm glad I took this picture because I know still how I felt this moment. It was horrible. And it was a dark place I never have been before, even if scratching the race was only the spark that led to this moment. Okay, so I was thinking, what do I need to get out of this hole? What are the capabilities I need? So, back to business. Same situation we had at Implenia when we said, with this drastic change, how can we support our leaders? What are the capabilities they need to sustain this change? So we consulted meta survey or a meta study consisting of 61 studies from the Institute of Leading Culture in Germany. So it's a really, they know what they do. And you see all the, I mean, just some of the consultancy companies, but also really major universities. So these 61 studies really say, what are the core competencies of a leader, of a modern leader? And what we're going to look now, I mean, they defined like 86 competencies, and we said, okay, let's focus on the top 3, on the podium of the competencies a modern leader needs. What we can do there. Number 1, and by far from all the studies, is communication. Communication, and not communication like me standing in front of people and having a speech. It's communication like really talking to the people, active listening skills, but also giving feedback. So we introduced a training program for our leaders, how to have difficult conversations with our employees, how to get into commitment to still go for some goals, and last but not least, success talks. How can you lead talks, conversations in a successful way? So that's what we did there. But for sure, our leaders, as you see on the picture, it was a dark moment, not so easy. I mean, foggy in the valley, so we had to go quite up to see and yeah, to see where we should go. We come with number 2 of the podium of these competencies. It's ability to change. I mean, we already learned that only the one will survive that is able to adapt. That's history, but the same applies here. So really training our leaders how they can cope with this change. First of all, understand the change, but then also how can you manage? We defined a change management vision. So it is enabling mindful innovation for modern, and that's coming out of our strategy, business strategy for modern living, working and mobility needs. This picture is quite too complex to explain in quick, but just to say, enabling means really supporting not just our leaders, but supporting them, give them orientation, and also provide some standards and methods and tools how they can implement. Mindful does mean not just running out in all directions, but really going a systemic approach, think sustainably, but also living a kind of a error culture. I call it care to dare. And then innovation for sure, for the new way, as Bertrand again would say, for the wings, right? Okay, and this everything to establish a culture on even innovative way to work for people that enables us to grow in the future. Very good. So the change framework was built on a, let's say, governance pillar, network, and tools and trainings. Very good. Then the leadership program we launched under the name We Lead, a leadership development program where most of our leaders had to go through and where they learned, as you have seen before, these communication trainings, but also many of the others, like what is change, how can I work with change, and so on. And we had like real sponsors, content owners, and also coaches in there that supported the process. And this is like a leader-led program, so it's cascading down on a gradual basis. We also developed some in a workshop leadership principles. So what are the boundaries, what are the rules, or what are the way of doing things? And they are built on 3 pillars again. So it's about knowledge and understanding. And there is quite a big difference between knowing something, like knowing the strategy, and really understanding what it means. That's a hell of a difference. So that's the first pillar. And then also give the capabilities so you are able, you have the competences to implement it. And for sure, it takes the right mindset. So this combination of knowing I can, I will, ultimately leads to the success. And we developed a small, let's say, model to explain it to everyone in a very easy way. So, for example, if you miss the knowledge, understanding, even if you have the best capabilities and you have the will to do it, you have the right mindset, it will just lead to inefficiency. Yeah? Or on the other hand, if you have the knowledge, you really understand where we want to go, but we don't have the skills, the capabilities. Even with the best mindset, it will just lead to frustration. And to end up the story, even if you know exactly what is to do, you understand the magnitude of the change, you have the capabilities, but you don't have the right mindset. It will just lead to resistance. And as we all know, resistance is one of the most biggest thing we have to work on in change management. So coming from, So now going back to the box, I took a little bit this into my family tribe, and we did think of what would be our future as a family. It was sure we're going to divorce, but we included also, let's say, even the smallest one. She provided a quite clear view. Okay, originally she came and said, "Hey, Daddy, that's not a good idea. No, that's not good." So she had also a difficulty to accept that this way will not continue like this. But we found a new way by elaborating together and taking even, let's say, all stakeholders and not just the top management parents into account to develop our new way of family life. But myself also, I did quite an analysis to see, okay, where I'm going, where is my future, and how could I do this? So I did an iceberg analysis, and I divided it into the parts of, I have still to work and gain some money. On the other hand, I have my leisure fun. I need some just basic things for my life. And on the other hand, I still want to keep in touch with my family and relationship. So how could I bring this together? So I think out of the box, and I started experimenting. How could I do this, think out of the box? And it was quite of a process until I realized I will think out of the box, but live in the box. And that was quite an interesting journey. So I formulated and I designed this box where I could live in, having mobility to connect all these pieces together. So this was my dream for the future. So back to business. We said this appreciation is number 3 of the podium, right? It's very important to help to put our people in the focus, in the center, and really give them also feedback. Appreciation. So we went into a workshop around brainstorming, and the title of this campaign that we ended up was You Matter. A very personal, direct message to every employee in our company to say, you matter. And you matter. It's important. So these persons could have, they desperately needed some positive messages in this very harsh time where really the news were so bad, to gain back their smile and also give them the North Star where they are. So we implemented an online platform where they could simply record a video, very short, 15 seconds, 20 seconds, and say, who matters to me, why you matter to me, and then thank for the, and again say you matter. So this you matter message, 15 seconds, you could record, upload onto a platform, and everyone could see who is giving you matter to whom. So this was to cultivate an appreciative dialogue, but we also wanted to encourage a positive and valued interaction between the employees. So it was not a top-down exercise, it was really something for everyone. Everyone could greet some other colleagues. So this was also some instruction. Here you see some pictures of the campaign. For sure it's online, but we also produced some mocks. We sent out 4,500 mocks to 97 locations, so people could have their own mock in 7 countries and 6 languages. So this was supported, this initiative. Here's some figures about the posts that have been done and how many times the page was open. So now it would be a quite, that's a page, there would be a movie, but it's too long, but maybe some of you can view it later on. Very good, so back to private life. I also thought this appreciation thing is also very good for my private life. So I tried to make a workshop with my family where we just created these flags where everyone writes a nice wish that he could take along. So we used like a talking stick to define how we want to work with this. And these are the 5 flags I now have just to show and take with me when I'm on the way. Back to business. Reuniting from different locations into one office was also one very important culture change. We had really to try to involve all stakeholders to participate in this process, but also bring them together from their work, how they act, and that was developed. So we also formulated a vision for our new home base, taking into reference our values, but also this vision, and really bringing it to a place where we can very well collaborate together. So the building took some time to build it, but in the end, last year we could move into this building. And here is another movie that I have no time to show, but that was the celebration party. We were in the building, and it was really nice to see how people first as strangers, but then come together. But we also introduced an event called ELTIC. It means every last Thursday in Connection. Connect is, by the way, the name of the building we are in. So it's really connecting. And there we celebrate on a very easy way. So the focus is not on business, it's really on networking, knowing each other, and we have no rules there except you have to meet 2 new faces every time. So you don't go there and have free beer for your colleagues. You have to connect with others, and that's one of the cornerstones of these ELTIC events. And for sure, we have some short speeches there to inspire, to make people talk about something good. And it's organized by a different division every time. Yeah. So That's like a round table. And again, here would be a nice movie you could watch about this event, but unfortunately, I'm under time pressure. Very good. So back to private life. So I really took this idea of thinking out of the box by living into the box to the next level, and I called it the Tolly box. Think out, live in the box. And that's one of the pictures showing me just on a very nice place, in the Emmental in Switzerland. So this was bringing my life in a box, and I started this in January. So January last year, meaning since 284 days, I'm now living in this box. I'm there about 90% of my time, for sure. Sometimes I have business trips, I go visit friends, so I'm not in there. But like this night, I'm standing now with this box 3 kilometers from here out. I came here by bike. You see it on the back. But so let's say 90% I'm living there. The benefits are I have really new experiences. It's like a new life. I meet more people because I have to, because I'm in different places. I have to say I feel alive again. I have like a new spirit. I realize I'm not alone because if you live like this, you see there are other people doing this, living out in a box or in a car, in a van, in a mobile home or whatever. And yeah, I have also more empathy for outsiders. I mean, just doing something really strange and new opens the spirits. For sure, there are also drawbacks or difficult moments. That's especially weather. Winter. It's going to be the next winter approaching now. And I realized sometimes it's not easy. I mean, it's small. I mean, my home, kitchen, living room, bedroom is like, it's about this space, you can imagine. That's not really a lot. And if you come with wet clothes, then it's not so easy. And also I have some installations that are not so clever, so you can really only take minimalism things with you. Exactly. So here just a few impressions from that time so far. And think out of the box by living in the box. Very good. So transformation is actually completed from an outside perspective. Our CEO just communicated that transformation is successfully completed. You see on the left-hand side what was the town hall slide, and here the slide 2 years later, what we have changed in detail, or just in a rough view. And also we are quite lucky, we can say, that our share price since since June, it's just going up. So we are really the high flyer of in the Swiss performance index, and that's not just by coincidence, for sure. I wouldn't say it's direct response because we did some culture activities, but it's also nice to have some correlation between these two tendencies. And I always say it's also, celebrate the nice moments you have. And I think this is really for us now a very nice moment where we can say, we had a hard time behind us, and now things seem to work out good. The actions we took seem to get grip, and we are very fortunate about that. Very good. Coming back to the picture. So we saw from the background where we come from this town hall to today, and the yellow line, as I said, shows the share price. And the other stories, I think, speak for themselves. I hope this had some interest for you. And that's just our next goal. So from transformation, we now go into the making ourselves fit for growth. for the future. So my time is over, so I think that's enough. Thank you very much for your attention.